In my life, I have called many people godless. And truly, I don't believe that anyone is. I know that we all come from the same source and that life is sacred and blessed. The problem is, me calling them godless, they don't take that as an insult. It's meant for them to self-reflect, not for me to insult them. But they're honored by that. They are well aware that what they believe in, and they take a lot of pride in causing others harm and creating mass suffering. Those that do believe, will you self-reflect upon the evil, corrupted parties that we elect? So many problems could be solved if we actually cared about each other and we had public servants, aka politicians. Maybe that's the problem. Everything's about politics and opinions. Can we, instead of having kings, can we prop up integrity, utmost dignity, our breath, that this is the supreme leader of humanity, the breath. And then from there, laws reflecting a protection of that breath and protection of our dreams and our laughter and our play and our work. Each should have the right to live their life as a sacred, blessed creature. That there are these things called governments that are, we are told they are formed to serve the people, yet they do not. They serve interests, not all people. They serve minorities, not the majority as a whole, not treating all as equally human being. We have this thing about superior people and inferior people, third world people. One creator. So you need to let go of all these labels. They are very godless. They bring about great harm and suffering. You can keep saying that's the way it is. But this life, I believe, a test. In this life, I believe great consequences to come for those that harmed others, for those that protecting those that harm others. Now, we will all be judged, for we all have harmed ourselves and others in some way, whether it was known or unknown. And I guess we'll see what will be. I don't know. I'm just a human being. But I live in a time where the Ten Commandments are laughed at. And we've been here before. I guess, yeah, I think in the past, there's been floods and this and that. But this time we kill ourselves with a push of a button, with a mushroom cloud. And that is our doing. We use our free will to push that button and to end everything. So I call upon we the people and those that are awaiting heaven. You awaiting for something, it's like, you're in a game, like basketball, and instead of looking at your teammates, you're looking up in the rafters, waiting for something to come. And meanwhile, when one of your teammates pass you the ball, it just goes right by your face. You didn't see it. You weren't in the game. You got to get in the game because your team is really down. And it's because you're looking all around. Be in the game. You want something to come here, it will come here when we have ended suffering or when we have destroyed everything. And if you think life is sacred and a blessing, do you want the Creator to come here after we've pushed that button? Or when we've stepped up, stand together, have a backbone? Do not elect evil, do not elect corrupted politics, for the consequences are that button and all the suffering along the way. You know, it's funny, we like to group people together instead of seeing them as, but you know, we'll do it like, oh, these are white people, these are black people, these are Jewish people, these are Muslim people. It's like, we don't do this, you know, like, these are Christian people. We do it to different degrees, to our convenience, the labels that we place upon others. Homeless people is filled with all those religions, all those shades of skin color, and yet we put them all together. You know, even like Muslim people or Jewish people. There's Jewish people all over the world, but when you think of a Jewish person, you don't think of someone that's Chinese. They're Jewish. Or someone from Africa. They're Jewish. Yet they're just an African. And they're just a Chinese person. We don't even care about their religions. You see what I'm saying? Do you see how batshit crazy this all is? The hypocrisy and the solutions. They're right there. You know, it's like you're watching TV. Oh, back in the day, we didn't really have I remember when we got a remote control for the TV. What a day that was. We got this universal remote. Before that, if you wanted to change the channel, you had to get up. Took a little effort to get what you wanted. Now we got the remote. What was my point? Just something about effort. And we put forth no effort today. When I was younger, I would bring up these problems that we have in the world, and I was told the government will take care of that. Well, now we all know what, well, if you choose to look, some people continue on as normal, as if there aren't all these reports of an arrest being made of those that have harmed children, of human trafficking, all sorts of abuses. These are the people that are in power. Yet we, the people, have the power. And we choose to be divided. And we choose to elect people who could care less about us. Why do we do that? Why do we expect heaven if we create a hell for others? Why do we do that? You were told that this is what we do. That's why we do it. There's no other logical explanation other than you do what you're told. So I'm asking you just to self-reflect. I'm not asking you to save the world. I'm asking you to just self-reflect. Things that we support. Why do we support them? The labels that we place upon ourselves and others. Why? And what are the consequences of that? We just mindlessly go around and just doing all kind of impulsive things without any self-reflection, without any questioning of it. I've spent my life questioning everything that I have been told. Look at me now. My life has been a struggle. I have burned so many bridges. I've made countless what is perceived as failing. And I wasn't judging myself, though, by those same parameters. I see what you applaud and who you think is a success. I'm not really bothered by it. And, you know, of all my failures and all that, yet I can walk around this world and people say they see my heart. That sounds like an accomplishment to me. That sounds like the greatest. Is there any kind of a award that is greater? Is the Nobel Peace Prize greater than people seeing your heart? I've got compassion and love. I don't have millions or billions of dollars. I don't have hundreds of dollars. I got love and compassion. And I gotta grind each day. I gotta figure it out. How to survive in this world. Could you imagine people like me with love, with hearts, with compassion, that we were supported, that we were propped up, that, you know, so many of us, we feel invisible. We are the black sheeps. We are, what is that too? Black, bad. We do this with a lot of things. Put black in front of something. Just another thing we do. We don't ask why. And what is the consequence of that? What was the response to the Black Lives Movement? Whether that movement, you know, some controversy perhaps, or maybe I've just heard things meant to discredit it. To the leadership, where the money comes from, all that. That doesn't take away from people feeling like their lives don't matter. Right? That's what it's all about. People saying, hey, we feel like we are treated like inferior people. That's what they're saying. And then there's black rich, there's Oprah, what does, once again, like, we are incapable of thinking and talking it out.
What's up, boss?